can see my Truenas scale screen. One of the drives says removed, which is interesting because I didn't remove it. I rebooted Truenas scale electric eel and still set it. Anyways, I did end up pulling out the drive, and when I touched it, I don't know if it's normal, but I couldn't keep my hand on it. It was so hot on both sides, so I'm just letting it cool off. But you can see, even with just the remaining drives, everything's still functioning, like it says, in a degraded state. But this is what RAID is all about. If a drive fails, things keep working. So just to point out, this highlights the importance of adding email notifications so you know what's happening with your system, so you can act pretty quickly. In this case, I did get an email from Truenas telling me that one of the drives was removed or whatever, which triggered me to take a look and understand that it was overheating and act quickly. Let the drive cool off. I unplugged it like I showed you. Now I plugged it back in and it says SDE is online. It said empty before. If I go to storage and manage devices, it no longer says degraded and it shows SDE is online. Very strange. Now when I click on that row, didn't show any errors. I looked at the logs, I didn't see any, and guess I should run this smart manual test to see. The last test was success, so very interesting. And let's just take a look here. You can see this drive right here is the one. It's working. Hey guys, so just to kind of show the physical space of my Truenas system, so you can see disk health over here, different temperatures, highest, lowest. I've recently improved my hard drive temperatures, and this is pretty important for your Truenas system, really any NAS system. I have a Mini X from iX Systems, and I've added a USB fan plugged into one of the USB slots right there, and this is USB fan. It kind of has this ability to tilt up and down, and I've got variable speed. I push a button there, it goes faster. So anyway, got it blowing in there. There is a fan in the back of this, but that fan doesn't seem to have been enough for the workload that I have running. I think the hard drive temperature has picked up ever since I installed Frigate as a Docker app, as well as Clam antivirus. But now I only have Clam running once every month. And Frigate, you can see here, it's taking up a chunk of the CPU. But yeah, hard drive temperatures are pretty important. I think in one of the videos that I made before, when I went under Manage Devices and expanded this stuff and clicking on these various drives, where were the temperatures? I can't remember where I saw them. I think there's a report somewhere actually. If I go under disk health, yeah, view reports is the screen here for disk health, and as I scroll down, you'll see for each of the drives this is SDA. It's got the maximum, the average, and then the minimum. And these temperatures were like, I think in the 70s, but now they are coming down quite nicely, back in the 50s since I added that fan. So anyway, there you have it. But I was having problems because before adding that fan, temperatures were getting too hot. And this is winter time, so summertime would be even worse. Hey guys, so just to follow up, we had some previous videos in Truenas Scale showing some stuff with expanding my VDEV using the ZFS file system, adding another drive, and noticed under the storage option here, the temperature, somebody pointed out in the comments, temperatures were fairly hot. And what's interesting is if I click here under view reports, since then you'll see some video clips I've taken where I've added a USB fan on my Mini X system from iX Systems. So now temperatures have dropped quite a bit from being in the 60s or even in some cases 70s down into the 40s and 50s. And so that's pretty important. You can see just doing sort of, so this is SDA, you can see down here SDB, temperatures are still coming down. I just increased the fan speed. Here it's in the 40s and down here again 50s. So pretty important to monitor the temperature speed. I did have an issue where one of the hard drives went offline. I'll show you that, some of the video clips there. And just kind of doing a quick Google, you'll see here this is from Toshiba, but this generally applies to a lot of NAS's operating temperatures are from 5 to 65 degrees Celsius for hard drives, especially for like surveillance camera systems, which I did install Frigate, essentially turning my Truenas scale system into a surveillance system plus NAS system. So it's going to work those hard drives because those cameras are constantly recording, and the more cameras you add, the more hard drive activity, right? So anyway, that's the normal operating temperatures, but from the Western Digital Red Plus PDF from their website, they actually have the different temperatures. I've got these 10 terabyte systems. I believe I have a drive similar to this one here. And you'll see as we scroll down, they have the operating temperature 0 to 65 degrees Celsius is sort of the operating range. So don't exceed 65. And I'm pretty sure what happened was one of those hard drives exceeded that temperature, so it automatically shut off to protect itself. So it took itself offline on a hardware level. So that's pretty important to note. Check that. I noticed when I pulled the drive out to see if something was wrong, it was almost burning my hand. It was so hot. So I let it cool off for about an hour, put it back in, and then turn on that new USB fan, and that seems to have helped. Anyways, hope you guys get some value from the video. If you do, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what else you'd like to see.